It's the fourth quarter where everyone who's got any type of involvement in any market, whether it's the stock market or commodities or anything else, makes predictions for next year. And housing is no different. So they all have predictions, and I'll talk about them in a minute here. Hey, by the way, it's all good in my opinion. It's not hockey stick straight up. It's good, slow growth.
Spoiler alert.
Today's topic, housing market predictions for 2022. So here's what the Fed say what's going to happen next year for real estate values in general. 8% increase. Fannie Mae says it's about an 8% increase.
National.
Annually. Yeah, and I'll get to regional in a minute. That's a great point.
Okay.
But just for perspective, since 1987 up until COVID, it's been an average of 4 years, so double the growth. This last year, closer to 20%. So you'll see there's tricks in all these numbers. All you see in the market, and I'll talk about the source of these numbers. The source of the numbers are millennials. They're the writers of all these articles. And so it's in between the lines of all these articles is tragedy.
Right.
Instead of, isn't this great? Let's enjoy this while it lasts.
Why? Because they're just like the sky is falling? They just don't think it's not going to last?
Because young people, it's not millennials. It's all young people, even my generation, want to live in cities.
Oh, okay.
They don't want to live.
Oh, they're complaining because it's going up and then they're not able to buy it at the time.
I can't afford it. Well, guess who's buying? I'm going to rant for a second. Millennials sell property to each other in urban areas. So who's to blame for not affordable urban properties? Themselves.
Understood. And
the people that sell property, a millennial sells a property, makes more money than the person who's trying to buy it and who's upset about it. Whose fault is that? Yeah. No one's fault.
Exactly.
Good for the seller. Maybe it'll motivate the buyer millennial who's really, wants to be able to afford the house that they can't afford. That's what makes the world go around. Maybe they might have to move out into the suburbs for 4 years, save some money with every paycheck,
and come
maybe
back.
Get a side gig and go buy the penthouse of their dreams downtown.
Yeah.
Tough luck, fella. I've never lived where I really wanted to. Never. Because I couldn't afford it until now. Fannie Mae says 8%-ish in comparison to 4% annual. Mortgage rates are about 3.1% now. They should go to 3.4%. There's no surprise there.
I saw
That's
that.
all still good. Zillow's a little more optimistic. They think it's going to be 12%. And so,
the national average increase is 12%.
Increase of prices, housing prices or value.
Okay.
And then CoreLogic is, I believe this is a publicity stunt. It came out at 2% so they could get in the news. They just want to get in the news. 2%. So nobody's saying it's going to go down. That's what's important here. That's the real takeaway. And let's just say it is going to go up, but it's not going to go up like 20%,
right?
Like it did over these last couple of years. Let's just say 2 to 8%. And that's real safe. Now, to Jill's point earlier, those are national numbers. If you live in Southern California, it's not going to be 4%. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be closer to 10 or 15 or more. If you live in Central to Southeastern Michigan, it might go down. It's been going down there for years. I can say that because I'm from there. So I'm not knocking that area specifically, but regions really matter. So here at Land Academy, we're all about bringing it right down to the zip code to see what's going to happen. And believe me, that data exists. And you can pretty rationally look at the national statistics in general and really spend some time on it and find out where that little market is, wherever you are investing, what it's going to do.
I agree. You made me think about this. It's something like. People submit deals to me to look at, right? So I'm looking at stuff all the time, all over the country. And I'm wondering, like, you guys, I see people looking at numbers, but they're missing one other key factor, which is days on market right now.
So why? Why is this all happening? Why is it constantly going up? Number one, and most importantly, and this is what's so different, so very different than any market I have ever experienced in my 54 years. This generation will add 4.8 million people. There are 4.8 million people turning 30 starting this year through 2025.
Okay.
And then it doesn't die or drop off on like a cliff. It just starts to erode a little. So it goes from 4.8 to 4.7, 6, 5, and eventually it goes back down to rational growth numbers.
Okay.
There's just more people in a really good way. They're more educated. They work at home. That's number two. They understand computers and can do their job successfully from home and have proven that since COVID. And during COVID, that's here to stay.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're all going back to work. We're not going to go back to work. There's a certain level of education and a job description that will never go back to work in an office. They might have to might have Zoom meetings. They might go in once a week, once a month, but they won't go back. And so they need a bigger house to live in.
And they see the value.
And they also need new refrigerators and just a better environment, and they can afford it.
Right. They're not going to be crammed in an apartment in downtown because they have to be. And they were doing that.
And then the trifecta is mortgage rates. They're the lowest they've ever been. Ever.
Isn't that great?
My parents bought a house. I can remember this. My dad was an accountant, so all I heard was numbers, screaming numbers all day long. Not in a good way. 17% mortgage. The first house I bought in Detroit was a 7% mortgage. This was in the late 80s, early 90s.
Right. It's amazing.
We're in the 2% now with good credit and a rational down payment. You can get a 2% mortgage.
It's awesome.
That's insane.
I agree.
Insanely good. So it's all good, in my opinion. We've had too much rapid growth. I think it causes inflation and a bunch of other stuff. I would love to see 4, 5, 8% growth next year with consistent growth numbers in the regions that make sense. You're going to see higher numbers in Florida, higher numbers in California, higher numbers in Arizona. Arizona was 30%, by the way. 30%
That's better than what
growth.
I saw. Oh, maybe it was our little zip code. I think I saw our zip code 20%, but Arizona 30. This is awesome.
That might be a little bit too high. It's going to cause some problems. But
Right.
I believe it's all good news, except for those few people that are whining about affordable housing because they just can't keep up in life. If you can't afford the house that you want, that's an indication of another problem, not the real estate market.
Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us here on the Land Academy and House Academy show. By the way, every Thursday, we've been doing it for years now, have a closed Zoom time with our members, all of them. It goes an hour or two. It's every Thursday. And we look at deals. We talk about this stuff. It gets really specific. If you want to be a fly on the wall, you sure can. We will love to have you. So just send an email to support. I'm sure you're going to see the link right now or see the email, support@landacademy.com, and just say, hey, I want to get into the Thursday member call and see what this is all about. We'd love to have you.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.